Atheists cannot have objective morality. It simply isn't possible. Imagine that there are two people. One person thinks that unaliving someone is a really bad thing to do, but the other person thinks that unaliving that person is a really good thing to do. How do those people between themselves figure out which one is correct? No matter how much you think about that situation, there is no way that those two people can come to an understanding to say, yes, I am objectively correct and that person is objectively wrong. Many people will try and say, well, hurting someone is wrong, so therefore taking their life is wrong. But who told you that hurting someone was wrong? What if we disagree about that? Some people will try to pinpoint objective morality in societal standards. They'll say that if a society agrees that something is bad, then it is objectively bad. But that also fails because 200 years ago, society agreed that slavery was a good thing. But obviously, slavery is not a good thing. Some atheists
So, one problem that I have with Christians who try to argue against atheist morality is that they try to say that they act as if to us subjective morality is a problem because there is no battery of texts that you can run on Christian or on morality that can say objectively that murder is wrong as like because if you took if you took one person who if you took brought into a room four people and three of them believed that the earth was round but one believed that the earth was flat, you can you can run tests to see if that is true. But if if three cops and one serial killer are in a room and the serial killer says murder is good, but the other three say that murder is bad, there is no objective, there's no test that we can use to ground that. And that, ultimately, subjective morality, in my opinion, is is what we have. We don't have objective morality, even if you're religious, which which I will tell you about later on, because he is going to get into Christian and like religious morality in just a second. So I'm gonna continue to let that clip run.
Theists will even go as far to say that objective morality is based off of how long you can make a society last, but that also fails. You could totally make a society last longer by wiping out all of the elderly people. They can't work, they can't contribute much to society, so we could make our society last longer if we just got rid of them. But obviously, that is wrong. However, religion offers a unique perspective on this. If you believe that there is a higher power that can hand down morality to people, you then have something to actually base your morality in. Remember the first example of two people on an island? Well, imagine if God stepped in and gave them a rule book as to what was good and what was bad. There wouldn't really be a disagreement anymore. By having a higher power giving you morality, you can therefore ground your morals in something that is real and concrete, not just your personal feelings. And remember, objective morality doesn't mean that everybody agrees on morality. We have Christians who disagree with each other, but it does mean that the individual, such as myself, can have real assurance as to what their morality is. Mine is based in God, and therefore I can trust it. The problem of morality doesn't prove that God exists, but it does shed light as to some of the problems found within atheism itself.
All right. So another thing that I don't think many Christians realize is that they suffer from the same problem morality that atheists do. Because let me ask you this: is are things good because God commands them, or does God command things because they are good? And the latter half of that question implies that there is objective morality, but it poses a problem for Christians if they because if they say, oh, God commands things because they are good, that means that there is something higher than God commanding that, or there is some level of morality above God that even God is not controlled. But if you say, well, things are good because God commands them, then that is just God's personal preference on morality, and it's equally subjective to ours. And also, there are many ways that you can derive objective morality uh, even without theism or God. There are people who believe that things that are objectively good are things that objectively benefit the human race, like uh, with which people then they would say that murder is objectively wrong because it doesn't benefit the human race, because the more murder there is, the less people the human race is going to benefit. Or something that I've thought about is that there could be an objective morality rooted in science. It's very unlikely that there is that small possibility, just like everything in science. Ultimately, there is no real way to say that there is objective morality. There is no concrete way to there's no way to solidify it, even with theism.